Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Hello everyone with a new episode of AAB World Podcast. I am Meisaء الشامي and today we have a very special guest with us. Came from South Africa to Kuwait in the Femme event. Hi Fatima.
Hello, Misa.
How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, and you?
Alhamdulillah, fine. What about the weather? Did you enjoy the Kuwait weather today and yesterday?
Yesterday I enjoyed it a lot. Today I can see it's a little bit back to normal.
Yeah.
Hot, but yes, Alhamdulillah, very nice.
Alhamdulillah. Fatma, please introduce yourself and your career.
I'm Fathima Nakooda. I specialize in wedding photography all the way from South Africa. I've been photographing since 2009 and started specializing in weddings since 2014. And it's now 2024 and amazingly running a well sort of wedding photography business.
Amazing. And I want the whole story in details. How did that story begins in wedding and
It's going to
event
be a long
photograph?
podcast. So in point form. So it was always my husband, Siraj, who was the photographer. But he was the photographer who just enjoyed taking family snaps. Until he came to a point where a friend of ours wanted him to take photos of his daughter's wedding. And as much as Siraj tried to speak his way out of it, the friend refused to listen. So he pulled me in because our Muslim weddings require a separation of the males and the females. And he insisted that I come on board, learn the basics, don't worry about creativity, just know about creating good, clear images. And we did the wedding.
And at that time, you were like free, or you have another career, or you have like kids, or
I was a mum to 2 kids at that time. And I wasn't doing much before photography, actually. Before we moved to Durban, where we are right now, I used to do anything from selling hijab, scarves to kitchenware, and
amazing.
Just earn some pocket money, I guess. And I just want to inform that I am qualified as a bachelor in commerce. I have a degree. But at that time, because of kids, I just prioritized them first over career. And it was a fragile time. I was a young wife. So we were in Durban and I was doing nothing but taking care of kids. And he's like, no, just come experience this with me, because it's the first time for him as well.
Yeah.
I got to learn the basics. We shot the wedding, and Alhamdulillah, we have a very welcoming social group and friends. And it just, at that time, all of their kids were at marital ages. So it was from that wedding till the next wedding that we just got experience, got hired for and gained our experience. And I started enjoying not so much the technical part of it, but the social part of it.
The social part, the moments, the special moments.
Exactly. And even interacting with the clients and getting to know that it's so amazing that no two brides are the same. And that at the end of the day, it's the people like the couple who make the wedding different. So as much as the deco, venue, the program, the nikah ceremony in the mosque is the same, it's the people itself that brings out the character of the wedding and stuff.
So what, Fatma, do you love most about photography for wedding or events?
Meeting new people. Definitely. It does. It's a tool for some amazing conversations, actually, and opportunities as to where you get to meet people and learn about their characters. I believe that before you even put the camera to your eye, you need to get to know the subject you are photographing, whether the person is a real person or a model. Everyone has this perception that models are easy to work with. To an extent, yes, but they're also human. They can arrive at the shoot all smiley and putting up their professionalism to maintain a good, clean environment to work in. But at the back of their heads, through their eyes, there's something bothering them. And I think when you build that kind of connection and that sense of trust with your subject, it's very easy to enjoy photography and just wanting to capture something interesting about the person.
And I think also the other way, it's so exhausting that you have to focus even in the face expression with the model or with the right.
Besides the face expression of the model and your subject, it's your own face expression that you need to maintain. And I have that weakness. Most of the time at the weddings, it's like the guests that get to you a lot, not so much your own clients. And I will just find Siraj looking at me, and he's like, "Put your face right."
How do you deal with these moments?
Just put your face right. It comes with experience. You learn to just hold your tongue and tolerate it. Well, if you look at weddings, it comes with a lot of emotions. There's no one that's born to be ready as a bride or has the focal point of the day.
Absolutely.
And it's very easy for a bride to have all these dreams and expectations months before her day. But on that day, that attention is a whole different level.
Yes.
And it's a build-up. So when you understand the bride's perspective and what she's going through, then you as a photographer who's aiming to photograph her true emotions and her true feelings and the sentimental parts of it, you will learn to be patient with what's colliding with her mind and stuff like that. So most of the time it's been guests that have been a little bit unbearable. But in time, you just get used to it. And working with my husband as well, he knows exactly like when something triggers me. So he'll take over for that bird. And he's from Cape Town. His personality is absolutely bubbly. You will be convinced this man has no issues in life. But shukar, we just, we work together just to understand. And I'm human as well. I need some space.
Sure.
But yes, definitely, with experience, you get to learn how to deal with people.
And as a photographer, do you consider yourself as a part of that make the bride feel more relaxed, more confident?
A lovely question. Yeah, it's a lot of photographers don't realize that, but you do play a very important part in how she perceives herself now in front of the camera.
Why I asked you actually this question because it reminds me of myself in my wedding. Because I saw the photographer, she was so nervous. Then I cried.
Oh, shame. Oh my God.
How if you are nervous and it was
shame.
little crowded, no, take photo for me, photo for me. Maybe it's my mistake that we didn't make a well conversation before the wedding. And that's maybe 17 years ago. You know that
the
things
approach was very different.
Yeah.
It's very different. True. I encourage that relationship to be built with your bride. You are, as a photographer, I am 90% of the time in her face. I cannot expect her to be the same and perfect throughout the day. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I think when you understand that as a wedding photographer, it becomes easier for you to know when to anticipate good moments and when to capture it.
Because there is a specific procedure. So you can know when to catch up.
So I've been in situations where it's the makeup getting ready part of it, and the mom and the bride start having it out. They like this, just disagreeing about something. And what I do at that point is I walk out of the room. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. I don't want them to feel embarrassed. It is, as weird as it is, it's part of the day's process. There's going to be frustration.
Yes, that's right.
And they have always apologized. And I'm like, no, don't stress. This is normal. But when it comes to making the subject comfortable, yes, your interaction is very important. And I think a lot of photographers forget to ask the subject, how are you doing? How was your day? And just make them ease into their position, unlike arriving there, setting up, and immediately photographing.
Because actually, at the end of the day, all photos will conflict all the face expression 100%. And the feelings, my feelings in that moment. I think that it will stay forever.
100%. No, 100%. I agree. Because the last thing I would want any bride to say to me is I don't want to look at my photos because it reminds me how upset I
Of
was.
course, or I remember that time when I
Yeah,
was upset, or the photographs
exactly.
that makes me feel nervous, or
And this might sound spiritual, but I think energies collide. And if you're a person that is sensitive to other energies,
yeah,
you're not going to handle the
of
situations really
course.
well. So it comes with a lot of training. I know of wedding photographers that can only handle 3 weddings per month because it gets much. Me
Yeah.
personally, if I photograph a wedding, and no matter how many hours it is, but for that time I've been interacting with other individuals, I actually come home and I don't want to speak to anyone.
Yes.
I use, if I'm working Saturday and a Sunday, on the Monday, I use it to detox. I don't look at any work. I pace myself. I get up late if I have
This
to.
is so healthy, by the way, to
Very,
maintain our energy and power for the
it,
next coming
yes,
project, our mental health also.
100%, just switching off. I think that's the main thing. Just like how we switch off the camera, switch yourself
Yes.
off, and just pace yourself. There's no need to satisfy anybody else or be in a rat race
Yes.
because you will burn out. And it's a lot when you deal with people. As lovely the wedding was,
Of course.
or as smooth as it was, and everything goes perfectly planned, you still need that break. It does
It
take a
is not
lot.
an easy thing, of
Yeah,
course. Of
definitely,
course.
definitely.
Needs a lot of energy.
Besides physical energy, but mental energy as well.
Tell me now, like if you have a wedding or an event today, what Fatma will do from the beginning?
Get my eldest daughter to make my tea, make my breakfast. So the preparation starts from the time I meet the bride, which is most of the time a month before the wedding. And the reason why I keep it as that is because by that time she is certain of how the plans are going to turn out for the wedding day and the times, and it's all about
All
time
the
management and the
details. Yes.
planning and the details and the locations that are confirmed and who she has as a makeup artist. All of those details are confirmed by then. And
And do
she's,
you actually put your rule like you will tell the bride, I have to talk with only one who can give me the instruction during the event or the party?
yes. So if it does get a little bit strenuous, and I can pick that up from the meeting, if she's going to have too much to deal with, I always throw it as a backup plan that she needs to give me the contact details of either her mum or a cousin or a sister that will also know the
Yeah.
plans. So what I normally do at this meeting is we finalize the timeline.
Like a plan B.
Yeah, like a plan B. I somehow sometimes come across as being a coordinator, but it's more a case of making them understand how the time works because it's easy for a bride to be a guest at a wedding. She can arrive at the time the bride is arriving and sit there as a guest, but when
Yes.
she's a bride, she has a lot of other things to plan and see to before she makes her entrance. So when you dissect the day for her, then it's light bulb moments. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I didn't think of all of these things. So it's not a case of petrifying her. It's a case of making her realize that as much as we all would like to isolate ourselves and get ready just for ourselves, you need to consider your plans for your bridesmaids, your flower girls,
Of
mom,
course.
sister, etc. So when that is drawn up, it's in email. And if she needs me to email the plan to her mum and her sister, so everybody's clued up, nobody is left out of any information whatsoever, that helps us on the wedding day. So with me, it's a case of charging batteries, making sure the SD cards are available and formatted. Everything is up to date. Get the bags ready. Packing my snacks in case I don't get a chance to eat. Hydrate myself. Take my whatever meds, vitamins, and bring myself to a point where I'm going to be the coolness for her day. So
Yeah.
everything just works out
This
perfectly
is
for
really
her.
an important point also. And as a woman, we have so many responsibilities in our life, in our career. So how you balance between all these things?
It has taken time. And I've adjusted accordingly to that time in my life. So when my kids were little and we just started, I expected my third child whilst I was in the peak of photographing weddings. And because I've always maintained transparency with my clients, like I was honest, I would tell them, I need to see to my kid. I won't be able to photograph the event, or
Yeah.
I'm not available, etc. Like when I did fall pregnant with my third kid, all the clients during my maternity leave, I took that break and my husband went to shoot the functions. And they used to tell me, no, come with the baby. We'll help you take care of the baby.
That's so sweet.
And I was like, it's not bring your kid to work
Because
kind
he's a
of
part
day.
of your business, no?
Yeah, it's like, I didn't know it was bring your child to work. But they were very understanding in that aspect. So in that period of my life, Shukr, I had clients that were very accommodating, and I've been very lucky in that aspect. And again, it's because I've been very open and transparent with clients. If I'm unable to manage it, etc., they never made me feel bad about it. But the balance comes about with a husband who's also very considerate. He's very hands-on. Like exactly now, I'm making this trip by myself to Kuwait, and he's at home with the kids,
Yeah.
managing everything else. My kids have also seen, oh, mommy is working.
Yeah.
It's not that she's neglecting us. It was never portrayed as neglect. It was portrayed as mommy needs to work. So I know when mommy works, she still is going to make time. And that's what I've always maintained. Trying to find, I won't say a balance, but trying to find some kind of equality between
Yes.
lifestyle and being a businesswoman. And as the kids grow up, you find you'll be able to spend more time on
More-
business.
That's right.
And because the kids are independent, as I said, the air fryer and the microwave is your best friend.
Make
Pre-marinated,
an easy life.
a very easy
Yes.
life, and everything now is convenient, from getting marinated meats to flatbreads, whatever. The kids know how to make it and survive.
Yeah.
So
Try to find the easy ways. Don't make life difficult.
complicated. Yeah, there's no
Yes.
need for it. And I think it works as a system at home as well, with ourselves and our partners, and whether we live with extended families as well.
Yes.
There should be some kind of understanding that it's 2024. Both parents are going to be
Yes.
working.
And in some day they will recognize that they will be proud of this.
Yes, yes.
We are working not for ourselves only.
Yeah.
It's also for their future.
100%. And this trip alone was a huge motivation for my girls. When
Yes.
I got the news of the trip, and the fact that I had to travel alone and stuff, and my daughter's like, Mommy, go, don't think twice about it. you know?
Oh, that's so
And she's
sweet.
16 years old. I'm like, girl, you got dreams of that now. And she's like, no, don't let go of it. Go for it. And my eldest, who is working, she took a gap year after finishing school, all because we encouraged her. We told her, we're not in a hurry for you to study anything.
Yeah.
Take your time. Because in South Africa, the dynamics of professions is changing. Now there's lesser students becoming doctors and pursuing business opportunities instead of working in
This is
corporates.
worldwide, I think.
Yeah, which ultimately, in a way, is a good thing, especially for a woman. It's a little bit more flexible, and you become your own boss. But obviously, because of peer pressure, she went and researched, and you could see she was intimidated at the fact that everybody else is going off to campus and university and studying. And I gave her the option. I said, listen, it's on the table. You can take a year off. It's not a problem. She took the year off, and in 3 months' time into the year, she ended up getting a job. So I'm like,
That's nice.
fantastic. Now you can pay rent
Yeah.
and ease it off my back a little bit. But now she's working. She has experience, independence, and social skills for the past like 4 months. Now she sees the impact of a working lady,
Yeah.
female. So this, again, as you said, this way of living gives them a whole different perspective of the world, and that there are opportunities for females. It's us who put the restriction and stop ourselves from exploring. I always say comfort zone is the danger zone for anybody.
Yes. Especially if it was in a long term.
Yes, especially in the long term. And I find that an opportunity that scares you is the best thing to ever take.
Yes. Because maybe it will be that point that will convert to your life to another scenario.
100%. Very true.
Totally agree. Do you have any specific style, Fatima, or vision that sets you apart from others?
I guess because I Style. Would you refer style to me as a business owner, or style when it comes to photography skills?
Let's say photography skills.
Okay, we can split the question up.
Yeah.
Photography skills will be a case of I keep everything true to tone, true to color, and the fact that I maintain skin tones. When I photograph, I think about the whole team that participated with
Yeah.
on the bride, and the makeup artist most importantly. If you can
So
showcase
everyone is involved with this.
everybody,
Wow.
and if you look at the makeup artist, she's the only one that's enhancing features. But the last thing I want to do is apply a preset or filter to that messes up
Yes.
her look, her talent. You know, it's also a misrepresentation of her work. For example, if I apply a preset to a photo and the bride posts it and she tags the makeup artist in it, and the makeup artist gets inquiries based on that look, makeup artist is going to say, but that's not the makeup I've
You
done.
know, we have never think about these details.
Yeah. And that's also like a part of my talk about the importance of photography when it comes to
Yeah.
businesses, but with the makeup artist specifically. I've heard too many complain about other photographers applying these presets, and it just messes up the whole makeup look. And the makeup artists, the admin that they have to go through, convincing clients, no, but that's not, I'll show you a cell phone picture instead of what her makeup looked like.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I'm considered in that aspect, but personally, for my own photos, I would prefer having true tone on my photos, and making sure that everything is exactly the way it was on the wedding day, like the whites are white or the creams are cream,
Yeah.
or the detail is showing on the attire that I've chosen to use and wear. There's sentimental value behind the choice of a bride. For example, like your grandmother could give you a necklace to wear, and if the photographer doesn't capture it properly,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, where's the necklace? Or where's the veil my dress is my grandmother's dress, but you didn't capture it properly. So when you think for the client and you think of what they would like to see or expecting to see, well, sometimes they were compliments of, you captured things that I didn't expect
Wow.
to see there, but oh my word, because their minds are everywhere.
Yes. And that's why also it's very important to sit with the clients before the
Yes.
weddings to discuss all the details.
Yes.
Not before 15, 17 years ago.
Do you want to repeat it?
I think so. Yeah. Only the photo session, please.
I can imagine.
Fatma, regarding the cultural differences, of course, you have faced many because each country or each culture have different situation in the wedding or even in the events. So, is there any like specific cultural tradition that grab your attention, like a strange or funny, or you find any similar things between cultures?
End of the day, you're dealing with people, so people will be people.
Yeah, of course.
And then you look at individuals who are old school and want tradition in their ceremonies or events, whatever. To be specific on finding a distinct difference between each, no, I think the one similarity I can say with all the diverse cultures that I have captured is the need for memories. And this has happened, it actually grew stronger after the pandemic when people realized that it was such an uncertain period that many of their loved ones were here today and gone tomorrow. Like, for example, I'll give you an insight of the individual got sick and then had to get admitted because they tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of the families didn't see that individual come back home. The person passed away in hospital. So that uncertainty created such an anxiety when it came to capturing memories that once upon a time when families didn't want photos at the events, now started having photos at the events, where elders who used to make excuses to attend events now want to get invited to events because they don't know when they're going to see their family. And then I think that's the similarity for me across the board when it comes to cultures. Yes, we'll be different in rituals, we'll be different in languages, skin color, and what have you, but the common factor is creating memories.
I think also, especially after pandemic.
Yes, very true, very true. The emphasis has gone a little bit more stronger, and it's, you know, if you want to get deeper into that and worry about, a lot of them don't want to do it because they don't want to be in our marketing strategy on social media. I've actually went to customize my marketing page in my contract for them to specify.
Yeah.
I gave them the control to tell me exactly if they approve of it or not, and if not, where can we compromise, but they know, and I think the reputation also builds on how you can build your trust and be reputable in a sense of taking the concerns of your clients on board. So I won't necessarily just post intimate moments.
Yeah.
If there's a moment where a bride is hugging her grandparents and she's crying her eyes out, makeup is like all over the place. Normally I would ask for permission. 90% of the time she'll say no because she just hates how her face looks, but it's a very personal moment for her.
Yes.
And I think if you can reach that point of satisfying your client privately, you will succeed.
Yes.
You will be referred to, because why? You put her first ahead of your business.
Yes, you got her. The relationships between the photographs and the client is really important.
100%.
You will
yes.
get her trust.
That's the other point. If you can get that answers your other question about making the client comfortable in front of the
Yes.
camera. You don't want your client to be standing there and thinking, oh gosh, I hope she doesn't put this on social media. I hope she
Yeah.
doesn't show this to anybody. So if you are able to come to this point of creating trust privately, she will refer you to her social clique, friends,
course.
network, etc.
This is a part of marketing also
yes, 100%.
for long-lasting
yes, 100%.
career, of course.
I think it's also organic.
Yeah.
It's very organic and very real that you can connect on that level and win trust.
Amazing. Fatma, in any career, we have to keep up to date in any updates, especially in photographs, like new cameras and new positions. Like we see in the past, it's totally different. Even the way like they take the videos or photos at the wedding or any events, it's totally different nowadays.
Yes.
So how you maintain the inspirational or the new ideas? Or is there any role model for you?
There's a few role models when it comes to style of photography. But when it comes to like any artist needing tools, and what my first rule is, do what works for you.
Yeah, and especially you have to maintain your own identity.
Yes.
Like if I see the pictures, I know that this is Fatma's pictures.
Yes, 100%
So
true.
how you keep yourself creative and inspiration?
Again, giving myself a space away from it helps. But when I'm in my zone of wanting to create something,
Yeah.
I research. And I research with a handful of other photographer businesses or even just normal businesses and what they are up to recently. And reading articles, podcasts as well help me. When it comes to the gear part of it, that's a lot of Siraj's thing, but we do have our differences, no doubt about it. Like at this point in our business, I'm 90% involved. He does have a full-time job. So he at some point started, I won't say drift away, but his priorities went on to his full-time job, and officially TTL is my business. But I will make calls that work for my workflow. So for example, the typical one is all of the latest cameras, the resolution is very high. So you're talking about big file sizes. And when you have big file sizes, you need to update your computer. You need to update your hard drive, right? And a lot of the times that's not discussed, but that's the reality of it. Once you start updating your actual tools, everything that helps with the post-production needs to be updated as well. And exactly what's happening with photography, that everything is fast paced. You need to think 5 years, 10 years from
Yes,
now
of
because
course.
of how technology is working. So he loves the resolution camera, but he yes genuinely loves it. But I also feel because he's a tech guy, he will want to have the latest camera.
Yeah, of course.
And me on the other hand is a little bit practical. I don't need the resolution camera. I
But
can
you can take the benefit also of
I can
this.
take it.
Yeah.
I think I'll be very honest with you. If I have more time doing passion projects, I will use the resolution. I think that kind of camera will be in my own time and space and my own rules. I'm not in any rush to deliver this. But when with wedding photography, my the A92 delivers amazing images, maybe at a much lower megapixel, but for my business to work efficiently, this camera works perfectly. So lenses, yes, I won't say fussy about lenses, but I love my primes. I have grown to that point to be comfortable with my primes, but other tech gadgets, not really. Maybe the computer software updates, software updates and stuff like that. But utilizing whatever the softwares, the social media platforms have given you, auto reply responses are the best thing when you're out of office. So, yeah, those things all add. Yeah.
Amazing. Fatma, tell me about your way, about how you blend between the photo techniques with the modern photo techniques with the traditional styles. Because as I see your photos, it was really amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
I saw like a tradition weddings, like Indian old tradition weddings, but with a blend of modern techniques.
style,
So how
correct.
you make this mixture?
Um, so
If it's a secret,
no,
it's
no,
okay.
no. I think it's also just a case of how if you look at bridal portraits, right?
Yeah.
The bride will be dressed in her traditional garment,
Yes.
outfit. How you make her pose. I love looking through fashion magazines. I have a habit of going through old photographs. Both Siraj and I actually, we come from families that used to love taking photographs. My dad himself had those disposable cameras, and his rule was whenever we wore new outfits, he'll make us stand outside and take pictures of us. But coming from that background, and same with Siraj's parents as well, and coming from that background, the house was always filled with a box of photographs. We used to sit and admire how our grandparents and aunts used to go into the studio and do photos. The studios were set up in central town, and they used to make it an outing just to go and take individual shots and shots of the siblings and stuff. That all I wanted to recreate in today's time because I really love classical portrait bridal images.
Obviously.
Images, and it's a thing for clients to print it and put it on the table or whatever. And well, now it's a screensaver for many people.
Yeah.
Still nothing wrong with that, but we brought it back. Other than having the candid laughing and the smiles and stuff, it was more the sophistication of just showcasing your features, your facial expression, and giving that sense of you are a couple now.
Yeah.
Now your life begins. You know. That's, and then obviously using the recent gear will give you those amazing images, lighting techniques, how you can light them up so they actually stand out in the picture. And then the last is the editing that will enhance it just a little bit extra.
There's so many things to
think
do.
about.
Is it become easier with experience, or you used to it, or you still feel struggle with it?
No, definitely experience. And I think I never started it to be, I'm going to be in the same position for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It was always a case of how can I make it better? And when frustration kicked in, if I found that editing took me too long, I would sit and think, okay, I need to fasten this up. This is taking too much of my time. Because I feel that where you can save time in your business, whether you outsource the job or do it by yourself in a shorter period of time, that extra time can be used in another part of your business to make it better.
Yes.
So that was my aim. Editing 12 hours straight is not good for anybody's body or back. It's backbreaking, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And what comes with that, the demand that comes for that is you need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So if you are going to spend more hours editing and lessen the time having a healthier life, we have a
Yes.
problem. So get it right in camera. Make sure it's right in camera. So you go home and have the least amount of editing. Editing softwares have advanced where you can do batch editing. And it's a case of just selecting images that are under the same
Yeah.
kind of lighting, sync it in Lightroom, and it edits for you. You are doing minor tweaks. So a range of 50 photographs that used to take you, let's just say, 30 minutes will now take you anything between 15 to 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That 10 minutes is still something. That 10
Yeah,
minutes that you're winning over.
Of course.
Yeah.
And how can the photographer can reflect the couple's personality or culture through the photos?
Again, it's when you meet with the couple and you get to know them and understand what's important.
And to know their expectation from the
Yes,
photographs.
definitely. Again, no two couples are the same. And when you have this meeting, you realize it. What was applicable to you is not the same for the next person. Family dynamics are very different.
Yep.
Some families have more than 4 generations of individuals in the family, and it's important that you get all of them. Some families have divorced parents, so you need to understand if the parents remarried.
This
So
is
you-
a very important point,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
if they remarried and they have extended families, you need to not mix up the parents and cause extra drama. If the dad have 2 wives, what do? You know, yes, the bride will share certain preferences with regards to individuals. You don't take it personally, but you need to understand where she's coming from as well. There's situations where brides get along better with their dad's second wife than their own mum.
Yeah.
And if you can make your subject comfortable about talking about this, you won her over.
Yes.
And then it just makes the photographing the family dynamics a little bit more easier. So yes, that's the first part about learning culture, family dynamics, and exactly
personalities of different people.
Yes,
of course.
100%.
So it depends more on the photographers or the bride side,
The photographers.
the photographers.
Definitely. You're not asking her to reenact herself. You're asking her to be herself.
Yes.
And if you can understand that in advance, then on the day you'll know exactly when to photograph the moments.
And also, how do you choose the right locations for the events or the weddings?
I think choice of locations happen when they need to find a location for the shoot, the couple shoot.
Yes.
Everything else is already arranged by the couple. Durban, where we specialize in, has a limited number of venues that can accommodate a number of guests that clients want to invite. So it ranges between 500 to sometimes 2,000 guests. And there's a limited number of venues that can accommodate 2,000. If you look at 2,000, then it's something as big as the exhibition center in town. If you look at 200, there's many venues that can accommodate 200.
Yes.
So end of the day, we leave that to the clients. It's their personal preference and
Do you prefer the outdoor shooting or indoor?
versatile. I'm comfortable with both. Outdoor, if she wants outdoor, then we
Because
help.
I think most of the weddings nowadays they're making outdoor parties, right?
It's a certain part of the wedding. You'll find wedding receptions tend to happen in the evening. So the dynamics in Durban is everybody's still working during the day, and they clock off from work anytime between 5 and 6 o'clock. So the wedding reception most of the time happens at that part of the evening. Before the wedding reception, most of the time the couple would like to do a photo shoot together because the ceremony was done either the day before or earlier on that wedding
Yes.
date. So it's certain parts of the wedding day that will fall during the day, and then you get the wedding reception at night. Seldomly, we will get a wedding that happens during the day. And that's when we will slot the photo shoot at a specific time when the light is perfect and
Yeah.
everything just works out. And I think this is the other thing wedding photographers need to know. Clients want help.
Yes, always.
They always need solutions. You are not a fly on the wall. Don't think you cannot stop the child from running on the aisle. You can stop the bride's entrance to take the child off the aisle so you're not disturbed. And when you provide these solutions and certain parts of the event where you are hands-on and taking control, your bride will appreciate you for that because you taught before
Yes.
before her. And at the end of the day, a lot of them are also introverted. So they're afraid to tell the cousin, take your kid off the
Yes,
aisle.
of course.
You know, so if a service provider or business owner does it for them, they're like, okay. I said,
They
no,
will agree.
yeah. I said, no, it's fine. I can get the scolding. It's okay. As long as my photo came out right, I'm fine about that. But yes, brides are always looking for solution. This is the reason they come into you for advice. This is the reason why they book in you because
That's
of your
right.
experience.
Yes.
So if I can advise the bride, if she wants to choose a photo location that's not really reputable and, you know, it's been outdated, etc., I can explain to her, here's the other options during that time of the day where we can go, what will work for the timeline, etc. And when you give her those solutions, she'll be like, oh, okay, your experience does speak through your
Yes.
work.
And how you can deal with unexpected things. Does it happen once, like sudden bad weather or unexpected things happen? Or cancellation at the last time?
Yeah. Cancellation was a common thing now over COVID. It was expected to an extent. Shukr, alhamdulillah. Over COVID, I only had 2 big cancellations. The rest of my brides kept their bookings for later on. They had faith that their wedding will happen, whether it was the same number of guests or lesser. And the 2 cancellations that happened, the one bride who was a Christian bride, she moved her wedding to the following year, but it fell in Ramadan. And her fiance could only make it in Ramadan because he was working in the Middle East. And unfortunately, I don't work in Ramadan. But that agreement was so amazing because I told her, it's not a problem. I'll refund you the deposit. It was a very fragile moment for small businesses at that time because nobody knew where they were heading. And my rule now at this point in business is deposits are refundable. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. But she came up back to me and she told me, Fathima, listen, you also need to make a living. You also need to survive. You don't need to refund me the full amount. Refund me monthly if you are able to, right? So at that point, I think everybody got sensitive.
Yes.
And considered to everyone. But the main thing, I think that has shocked me. I won't say shocked, but fights that have happened at weddings. It's just ego of men having it out. Siraj was busy photographing the family portraits, and I'm turning around and looking at the back of the hall, and I just see a guy. He's flying across a whole group of men. Whatever drama that was that happened. But weather-wise, that's also discussed at the planning. We always check on the weather in advance to see of a plan B when it comes to location. So if the location was an outdoor option, we will look for a plan B of an indoor option just in case the weather does change. So
Plan B is always necessary.
Oh
all the
yes,
time,
yes,
in all
yes,
circumstances.
100%. Yeah.
Totally agree. What is your future vision and where do you see yourself, let's say, after 5 years?
Hopefully having a few teams of photographers and videographers that I can manage. Not because not because I'm greedy for money, but I guess it's to have more time being at home and empowering
Yes.
others to come forward, be under my wing for a while. And then if the doors open for them to pursue their own, go ahead. Right now, I have brought on board 2 videographers. They're actually sisters because my service was only photography. the need for videography started picking up, and I couldn't run away from it. I saw
Yeah.
that this is a business opportunity. It's just a case of me scouting for the right team. And I had to allow myself to take some time to scout it because this business is my baby and I am protective over it. The videographers need to live my brand as well. You know, we need to be on the same level of thinking. And
Of course.
Shukr, I met this team as well, and we're going to start. We have been booked for a few weddings, and we said if this goes on really well, if it progresses and starts thriving, we're going to announce it officially next year. But my aim is to bring in more teams, host more workshops, encourage more. I think to slow down the industry as well.
Yeah.
There's just too many coming on board and thinking that the camera is going to do all the work for them. Meanwhile, it needs a human to press the button. And you
course.
need to know when and how to press the button.
How to press. Exactly. Do you think that if there is any photographer want to start in this field, she can do and manage this alone from the beginning or no?
A strong-minded individual, definitely. Someone who's not afraid to break barriers, definitely. If you are somebody who needs company, has a source of motivation just to boost you, there's nothing wrong with that as well.
How I can decide, for example, if I want to go through this career, how I can decide whenever if I can do this alone or when I need someone to support me.
I'm a
Of
person.
course, we need the support all the time, but I
100%.
mean like a company or an official thing. Because nowadays, so many ladies, they want to really go through this
Pursue it.
field, but they are so afraid and hesitate to. So what is your advice to the female, especially photographers that want to go through this field?
I'm going to say the same thing, maybe the way I brought my kids up, but tough love is the way to go. Bite the bullet and go for it. Dive deep, because that's the only way you're going to figure yourself out. I'm going to mention my second daughter. At one point, she had major social anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? And it was a simple thing as asking her to go and buy a can of Coke from the store. We were sitting at the food court. The takeaway, the pop-up was around the corner. She just had to go buy Coke and come back.
Yeah.
She already started getting flustered. So we asked her, what's wrong? She says, what if? I said, what if what? You're just going there to buy Coke. Give him the money, ask for Coke, and come back. And nothing else can go wrong. So she goes, she buys the Coke, she comes back, and we asked her, how was that? She goes, all good, but I forgot to bring the straw. And then go back and get the straw. So she went, she got the straw, and she came back and it's like, did anything happen to you? Did anyone laugh at you? Did anyone poke at you? Why are you creating your own fears in your head? So the more we got her exposed to that, it broke her fears completely. And more because as well, she's not somebody to hold back. She just needs a boost, and she'll actually look at the situation from far to say, okay, it's safe now, and she'll go forward and go for it. But now she's a little bit better, much better. And this is the same approach with work.
Yes.
Me taking this trip to come to Kuwait, but a lot of my confidence. It's anxiety, because we are filled with this unnecessary, unforeseen fear that something can happen.
Yes.
But the thing is, if something happens, your body naturally leans towards survival mode.
Yes, that's right.
And you learn to adapt. That's how God made us. You learn to adapt. How did we adapt to the pandemic? How did we pivot our businesses around the pandemic? And look at us today. We're thriving.
Yes.
This is exactly my point about comfort zone. If you are coming out of your shell to go into a field that requires you to interact with 800 people, and technically you don't interact with 800 people, you're just standing among 800 people. There's a max of 50 people you're talking to at a wedding. You need to put yourself in that situation and then figure yourself out exactly if this is for me or not. If you can handle your first job perfectly, you know where you're going towards. However, there are times you will need to put yourself through like 5 jobs
Yeah.
to break that fear. Anything in life, when you need to dip your toes in and you're going to be afraid of it. Everybody has fear, but you're only going to get over it or overcome it. I won't say get over, overcome it if you take that chance and just experience it.
Otherwise, how we will can get the experience, of course.
100%. Otherwise, you're still going to be sitting back and procrastinating and building thoughts in your head that are going to be blocking you from going ahead instead of going there and experiencing it.
Totally agree. This is so inspiring, Fatima.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed with you today with the podcast. If there is anything you want to tell us about more,
just call me back to Kuwait again.
Sure.
I'm more than welcome.
We are so happy to have you here with us.
No, pleasure.
Kuwait.
Anytime.
Have a safe flight and
Shukran so
also
much.
good luck with your workshop today.
Yes, very excited. Shukran so much.
Thank you, Habibti. Shukran. Bye bye.